My name is Joe Brammer, and I'm the CEO of a company called Bulkhead that I founded with my friends at university. And I believe that one of the reasons for our success is the amount of screen time we had as kids. We hear it a lot today, kids are having too much screen time. And I want to challenge that today and wonder, is that actually the case? Screen time is a huge phrase. It captures so much. And I think really what happens is the parents especially, don't necessarily understand what screen time is. So when we don't understand something and we fear something, we try and discredit it, right? So we just say screen time, too much, bucket it, and just give it to the media who perpetuate it, and it goes around a cycle. And I think really what I want to talk about is the quality of screen time that children are getting. So my mother was a teacher, and for 40 years she was a teacher, and she was very into my education, and school has never quite worked for me. But I had a lot of screen time as a kid. And if you take the statement, kids are having too much time outside, they're spending too much time outside, what a ridiculous statement. No one would make that statement, because generationally, we understand that playing outside, all the benefits you get from it, it's really fun. I mean, admittedly, we live in England, so, but playing outside's great. We understand the risks. Generationally, our parents played outside, so they get it, their grandparents, we all played outside, so we understand the risks of playing outside. We also understand how to communicate to children and how to be safe when you play outside. When you go outside, you can get hit by a bus, but if you don't play in the road, statistically, that's pretty unlikely to happen. I don't have the source for that data, to be clear. But really, when I was growing up, I said my mother was a teacher. She knew school didn't quite work for me. And I go to school and I just hated it. I hated it. I didn't get it. And I'm not saying I tried really hard all the time, Mum, but she knew it wasn't for me. And I got a real chip on my shoulder for the kids at school who really got school and were good at it and knew what they were doing, and they're on the good table where they're on the smart table, and I'm there with like a finger in my nose, like, I don't want to do this. And like, really, I knew that when those kids went home, they were watching their television screen. But when I went home, I was going on my computer screen, and I was editing a game, and I was breaking apart video games, and I was tearing them to bits, and I was making them the way I want them to make. I'd tweak them, I'd twist them, and I made a career out of that. I ended up tweaking them around the way people before would rip apart engines and rebuild them. I was doing that with video games. And I think, importantly, I was able to do that because of the amount of screen time I had. What happened for me was, at 16 in the UK, a lot of people go to college, and college is like a more vocational study. And I was able to study video games, art, and animation. And I went to college, and all of a sudden, overnight, I was a student. I loved it. I couldn't wait to go to school the next day. I couldn't wait to go to college. Absolutely loved it. And then, first time comes around, our parents' evening and report card. That's what we do. And me and my mum are sort of drudging down the hallway for one of my final ever parent-teacher meetings. And we're fully expecting them to say, if Joe put in as much effort into maths as he did into video games, he'd be in charge of NASA, blah, blah, blah. And that obviously isn't true at all. But what actually happened was, he said, Joe's really good. He works really hard. He's incredibly intelligent. He loves what he does. He helps other students. He's super focused and goes the extra mile. The only thing that's wrong is Joe hasn't played enough video games. He's not a wide enough array, because I just played what I wanted. I just played what I wanted to play. My mum was stunned because she didn't know what to say to that, being a teacher. And I was like, told you. But really, that was true. When we got back in the car, that's what I wanted to say. The chip on my shoulder, that it's still really with me today. So much so I'm doing a TED talk about those guys. But it's a huge chip on my shoulder, right? I wanted to say to my mum, I told you I should have been playing more games. It doesn't matter how good at maths I was. All that mattered was how good at making games I was. And I finally found somewhere that celebrated me and what I was good at. And there are so many kids that are disenfranchised in the same position as me that will in the future do TED Talks to those stupid smart kids. But I'm really glad that my parents didn't let me have unlimited screen time. And I'll get to this bit where, plot twist, I'm not arguing for endless screen time for children. But my parents made sure that my brother and sister and me, we all did 3 things. We all played a team sport. That was crucial. All of us were playing a team sport. Not on the same team, we hated each other, but we were all on a team sport. We had multiple sports year round. There was never a moment we're playing sport. We weren't playing sport. And finally, we had to play an instrument. So we had to learn to play an instrument. Now, I'm not saying, this is the first time I've been on stage, I am not saying that I was good at an instrument, but I had to learn one. And the challenges that go with that. And I think what happens is, on the flip side of that, I was getting really good at editing games and playing games in my own time. I was getting really good at that. I was doing these other things, so I wasn't necessarily being celebrated. And I think it's really hard for parents to understand what playing games actually is. Because we lump it in with screen time, right? It just gets lumped in. So if you imagine your child's Xbox or PlayStation as a theme park, my job is I'm a ride designer. I don't design all of the rides. I design some of them. Some of the rides are things I design. And if you take your child to a theme park, you hopefully don't just kick them out and say, be free, go on the rides, and I will pick you up, maybe. That's not what you do. You either go to the ride with them and you go on the ride and you have an amazing memory with them. You create memories with them and you throw your arms up going down a ride, or you hold them while they scream and cry. Or if you don't want to go on, you watch them and you watch them go on and you watch them have a great time and you watch them create memories. That's what you do. You don't just leave them, probably. And most importantly there is that experience. Because it's physical, there's something about humans, we can kind of connect with it and we can go, I understand this, I understand the risks here. Whereas online and digitally, screen time, we don't really get it. So we just say kids are having too much screen time. So I want to talk a little bit about what your kids are seeing when they're playing games. So what you see with let's say, Call of Duty. Call of Duty will sell you a soldier shooting people on the front. Or Grand Theft Auto, GTA, one of the biggest games in the world, it will sell you you're a gangster and a criminal. And you'll see your kid pick that up and go, I don't want you to play that, right? That is just the wrapper that we wrap it in. Call of Duty is just tag. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're laughing, that's exactly what it is. We have to wrap up tag in a nice box that has guns on it so that kids will buy it. That's it. Really though, when you watch kids play it and what they're doing, they are not thinking, I'm gonna kill that person. That is not what they're thinking. It doesn't work like that. What they're thinking is, oh, there's someone over there, I want to get them, I've got to move around here so that they don't shoot me there, and I'm going to have to go around here, and then someone's going to come over there, and now I've got to change back to where I was before. And they're just having this cyclical game. They're totally immersed in what they're doing. And that is what we sell. That's game developers, that's what we do. We sell immersion. It's the thing we're peddling, because we're better at it than all the other mediums. We get to sell immersion, right? And it gets misused a lot, the term immersion. What immersion means is to be totally focused on the thing you're doing. What it does not mean is that you believe you are a soldier. That is called delusion. We are not trying to delude you or your child. We're trying to basically just focus them on this thing and get them so invested and get them so excited about what they're doing. And when you hear them play these games, you hear them playing shooting games, they're not saying, I murdered him. That's not what they're doing. They're saying, at least that I'm aware of, that's not what they're doing. They're saying, oh, we need to protect the objective. How do we do that? Well, let's build a base around the objective. Oh, okay, great. Well, we need to get in and out. Okay, we need to build a door. Well, then the enemy can come in the door. Well, let's put a password on it. What would the password on the door be? I don't know. We need to remember it all. That's what they're doing. They're not really playing a shooting game. They're playing the same things we did outside. They're not really doing anything differently. It's just digitized. I mean, there's an interesting question. Is 4 hours straight of playing Lego any different to playing 4 hours straight of digital Lego? If they're not learning mechanical skills anymore, 3-year-old is a little bit different there, but is there actually a difference there? Screen time doesn't capture enough. I want to talk about this one moment that had this amazing kind of social barrier that was broken at work. Because the one thing game developers get to do that other industries, in my view, don't get to do is we all love video games. We all play video games in the industry. No one joins the games industry because, I'm like, I've never played a game before. It doesn't happen. But what happens is, I have the scary CEO title. I wouldn't say I'm the most welcoming face. And no one laughed, that's good. I have this scary CEO title, and I've got this junior employee, Ben, he's 21. And one day he just goes, Joe, I'm playing this Viking game tonight, do you want to play? And I'm like, me? With the cool kids? Play a video game? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll play tonight. How amazing is that? Imagine all the issues at school you get, and that like games just compress that. It's just, do you want to play the game? If you want to play the game, you play the game. I'm not being bullied by the 21-year-olds at school, at work, by the way. But I say, like, okay, well, yeah, me and some of the founders of the company, like, yeah, we'll go play. So we've got like basically the senior leadership team and this junior employee, like, why not? I want to do anything tonight. So we jump into this game, it's a Viking game, and we go, all right, Ben, what are we doing? What have we got to do here? And he's like, well, you can basically do anything. But the one thing we have to do is we have to build a little food storage box to keep our food safe while we play, so it, you can keep your health up. We go, okay, right, what do you need? And he's like, I need wood, timber. Go chop down the trees for me and I'll build you the food storage. Great, cool. So me and my 5 senior leadership people go off into the forest. We've got our axes and we're Vikings. We start hacking down trees. We're just hacking them down and we're picking up the wood. We're carrying it back to Ben where he's building this food storage box. And a while goes by and we're like, this is taking forever. It's taking ages. So instead we go, well, why don't we take some of this wood? We're going to build a cart, and we're going to put the wood in that cart, and then one person is going to run it back and forward while we keep hacking down the wood and putting it in the box. Great. Okay, now we've optimized this. And before long, the forest has been deforested. And in this game, that's okay. But we've deforested it, and we need to go further in to find more wood. And we realize if we go even further, there's a river that runs through the middle of a forest. And where Ben is building, we have the end of the river. So we move the cart to the end of the river and we build a boat. And we start throwing the wood on the boat, we sail it down. Great. Someone unloads it, gives it to Ben. Amazing. Now we've deforested this entire part of the world. And we realize it's been like 4 or 5 hours. And then all of a sudden we look, it's like midnight. And we're like, oh my God, we've been playing, we're 30 years old. Our kids are getting up at 6 no matter what. Ben doesn't understand that at all. He's just like, I'll just get another monster, guys, don't worry. And we're there like, oh my God, like we need to go to bed, but let's just go see the fruits of our labor. Let's see how this is. So we go back to Ben and we go, Ben, where is it? Where's the food container? He goes, that's it. What do you mean that's it? That takes like 5 pieces of wood. And he's like, well, yeah, but you guys were having such a good time chopping down trees. I didn't want to stop you. Well, what'd you do with all of your timber? And he goes, oh, I built a church. And we're like, well, what'd you build a church for? Is there any gameplay benefits to this church? He goes, no, it looks pretty cool though. And we were like, so we just spent 4 hours chopping down, building a system, having a meeting about how we can optimize our workflow, implementing the changes, growing and expanding the business to then bring you back. And we didn't need to do it. And he's like, yeah, we just had a meeting, Ben. This is what we do every day. He's like, oh, that's cool. All right. We're going to go to bed. But in reality, what happened, it's such a great example because that game, the picture of that game is a Viking with an axe, right? Maybe it's just my Vikings, but I heard a lot of people with similar stories. When we went back to work the next day, everyone was level 100, we were level 1, but we had a church, But really, it wasn't this big violent game. There's fighting in it. But what we did was we problem solved, and that's what games are. They're problem solving, they're solutions, they're thinking about things on the fly, adapting to situations. That's what they are. Even a shooting game, that's all they are. Every single game is a puzzle game. Anyone tells you differently doesn't understand games. They're all puzzles, right? So when you see your child pick up a game or say, can I play this game? Or they're playing a game, don't say, what is that game? Because they will tell you it's a shooting game. Ask them, what problems does this game make you solve? And I promise they will look at you and go, what are you talking about? But when you ask them, well, what obstacles you got to get around? Then you'll get the interesting answers. And then you'll start to understand what they have to do. Ask them what matters in the game. What does winning look like? What does losing look like? Games are social, problem-solving experiences. We have to adapt on the fly. And that is completely unfair to compare that to TikTok. And when you say screen time, that is what you're doing. It's completely unfair. Now, I love TikTok. I also love Takeaway. And we laughed at that one. All right. I also love Takeaway. And it's, I know it's bad for me and I still do it. And that's the same with TikTok. But 2 hours of TikTok, yes, 2 hours, I will do 2 hours of TikTok, it puts me into a vegetative state, right? It doesn't immerse me. I just kind of get stuck in a loop. Whereas when I'm playing a game, it's like, that's it. That's all I can do. And I can engage with people. It's social. That is not screen time as a whole. That's not what that is. Love Island is screen time. Love Island's bad. That's a bad thing. But that is not fair to put that in the same bucket. And really we're doing it. It's outdated. It's unintellectual. It's unintelligent to use the phrase screen time. Now, I want to end with 3 things. I think number 1, the most important is having balance. I think there's no problem with children playing lots and lots and lots of hours of games, but they're also doing lots of other things. It's fine. Play a team sport, play an instrument, go do something else, get lost somewhere and figure out your way home. They'll cut that bit out, don't we? But just ad-libbing now. And number 2, and this is a hard one for a lot of people to hear, people love coming up to game developers and telling me, I want to be my child wants to be a game developer. They love games. I tell you what, I see them on their iPad. They're so quick around it. I can't keep up. They just keep going around it really quick. It's amazing. They're amazing. Nobody cares how fast your child can move around an iPad. What they do with it is what matters. And kids can do these amazing things. But if we keep giving them tools that do all the thinking for them, that's all they'll be able to do. We're building digital factory workers. And that leads me to number 3. Don't buy your child an Xbox and don't buy them a PlayStation. Buy them a gaming PC. Yes, it does cost slightly more. It does. But you cannot pivot your Xbox skills into being a programmer. You can't just get good at Xbox and go, I'm going to have a go at programming. It doesn't work like that. You can't pivot your skills on PlayStation to all of a sudden go, I'm going to be a digital artist. There's no link there. They're designed to feed you to click play and you hit play. And you're immersed, but it's not going anywhere. It can't progress. Whereas if you have a gaming PC, you can do all of that. And when you find that bit of interest, which we all know kids do, and we do as well, they can pursue it. And they can keep going. And they can find what they find interesting. And they can keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And for me, I think kids do need more screen time, but most importantly, it's about the quality of screen time they're getting. Thank you.